Megan, have you been drinking all day?
Since 10:30.
Woo! She's ready for this. Never been more prepared.
I know.
Since 10:30.
For Which Finger podcast, fucking Minisode 2.
That's right. Our wildness shall never be tamed.
No.
What?
Our wildness shall never be tamed.
That's true.
You're wild. We started drinking at 10:30.
Well, I know, but you know what? I'm actually only on my first bottle of Prosecco still. Like, I've just been milking this bottle all day. You know what I mean?
But it's so good. Are you having, like, the mimosas?
I don't need to be, like,
fucking
chugging, Prosecco at 10:30. You sip that. You enjoy that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, like, a huge, like, aficionado of those kinds of alcohols, but what is that again? Is that champagne?
It's like a knockoff. It's like sparkling white wine.
Ish, but I'm pretty sure it's Italian rather than French because champagne technically is French, and then Prosecco, but I think Prosecco is a little sweeter.
I find it sweeter. I prefer it, to be honest, but like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what it's supposed to be in a mimosa too, right? Is Prosecco rather than champagne?
Prosecco, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I did know that mimosa was that and orange juice, right?
Yeah, but I mix it with orange and pineapple.
Yeah. Oh, that's girl, are you juicing your own fucking pineapples too?
Mimosas always just remind me of the Saturday Night Live clip with Adam Baldwin and Adam Sandler as Canteen Boy.
Do you mean Alec Baldwin?
Oh, sorry. Did I say Adam?
Yeah.
Like the one that no one cares about.
Who's an Adam Baldwin?
I don't think there is an Adam Baldwin.
I don't think there's an Adam Baldwin.
Yes, no, there's Billy, there's Bobby, there's Bert. I'm just kidding.
Bert? I want to say there's Adam.
No. Steven. There's Steven.
Okay,
maybe there is an Adam Baldwin. Please look. Now I need to know.
Now you're fucking messing up my brain because now I think Adam Baldwin is a real person, but
billions and billions of Baldwin.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up because I swear to God, Adam Baldwin is a real person because I want to say he was in Buffy, but
he's not related to like those Baldwins though.
That's what I would have to imagine.
Yeah.
So yes, Adam Baldwin is a real person, but he's not a Baldwin.
How much would that suck to be in Hollywood? And when they see the name, they're like, "Are you related?" And you have to drop that like, you're in that position where you're like, "Do I lie?" And try and come off as like,
right? Be like, "Oh yeah, he's my great uncle 3 times removed."
Yeah, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know about me. I'm secret.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Sunday afternoon.
Minisode 2.
Minisode episode 2. We really enjoyed doing this the first time, and a lot of people responded with obviously
positivity.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody for watching and listening to the first one. So a lot of people were like, do more of these. So we're like, okay.
Why not? Everybody's like kind of, stuck at home. People want to consume more media, albums and stuff. Like, Megan, of the 3 of us, you're the only one that's working. So good for you. We're very happy.
And you know what? I'm just going to open with this fucking shit. I also, like, my list of, my contribution for this episode is mainly disappointments for myself. And so
I have one disappointment too.
Oh, really?
Like, on the weekends, like, we always order takeout every Friday, and and we settle down for, like, this, like, epic movie night, and it's just, like, one after another. We're just, like, unsatisfied at the end of every Friday.
No,
because we've been trying to explore into, like, the new albums, the new movies that are out.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So anyways, we're like getting into the new movies, and like one after another have just been total misses for me. And then I get like inboxes, do we still call them that?
Whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Get an inbox.
From people being like, did you or did you not like it? And then I'm like, I'm kind of disappointed. And then I get the like, what? Like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like the Midsummer people, like, what? Like, you don't love this new movie. It's groundbreaking. Like, I'm
kind of like the same as you, Megan, though. I have very high standards for new movies, and most of the time, not most of the time, like I don't want to sound like a bitch, but like maybe 80% of the time I'm disappointed, but then every once in a while, like a new movie like does blow my mind. But that's why I don't watch a lot of new stuff. Like I don't want to be disappointed. Like I have to set myself up to be in that mood to be disappointed. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch that new Hellraiser movie. I'm prepared to be disappointed. That kind of thing.
We like before pandemic, we prepared ourselves for that Danzig movie.
Oh my god.
That sound that came out of your mouth.
That movie was so fucking weird. And just like,
did he star in it, or was it about him?
No, he just directed and wrote it. But it's an anthology, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I remember the spider one. So like, there's like a couple of different segments. The two that stick out for me were the one with the spider, where the spider like becomes like a human spider and like, I'm going to kill people for you, spider.
Not Spider-Man, man spider.
Yes, man spider.
He's like a hire to kill spider, like a for hire.
Kinda, yeah. Like, I mean, it's like, okay, so he's a spider, like a real spider, like a tiny little guy, and it's like, oh, spider crawling, a very poorly done 90s CGI spider on like a rose. And then it's like, this girl has all this bad stuff happen to her, and then the spider's like, oh, in love with her or something, I guess, and it's like, I'm gonna take revenge for you.
Remember it to that extent.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually, like, this is the first sips of alcohol that I'm having right now are the first sips today, so I'm still with it. And then the other one was the Elizabeth Bathory type girl, where she was like, I need to kill for blood, and our friend's boobs are in there, and
yeah, our friend Kansas is in that one, and Carolyn Williams from Texas Chainsaw Part 2.
Right.
But there's so many scenes that we had to like fast forward because nothing was going on. Oh, now I remember the segment in the middle was the strip bar one, and it was just the most mundane
I don't remember much about that one.
Because we fast forwarded most of
it. We were like, wow, this is an awfully long time to just be in a strip bar with nothing happening.
Yeah.
What are the redeeming factors?
Pardon me?
Well, you can say that, I guess, that because Danzig did it, that's redeeming, but like, that's about it.
However,
were there like titties or dick or anything?
There was like some nice tits in it, but like
there's tons of tits in it.
It's like tons of tits. Of course. It's like a Danzig music video come to life.
I know.
Like,
I was
in a full way.
Like Danzig's 7th album is like that cover with him with the vinyl gloves, like over like the girl's mouth and her shit.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Yeah.
I am excited to watch his follow-up movie because not only is my friend Kansas in it, that's the one that Julian Sands is in.
Right, because we thought Julian Sands was going to be in this one, and we were fucking pumped to do it. Yeah,
and then we were like, show up, and I had to like message Kansas and be like, "Where is Julian Sands?" I was like, "How is Danzig okay? How is he?"
Is Danzig okay?
Yeah, like I actually, after watching Veronica, I asked if Danzig was okay.
How are his feet? What's wrong with his feet? What?
I kind of love how like sometimes with this like whole like online Zoom thing, our voices interpret like different things.
Yeah.
And it makes for hilarity. So, Megan, tell us about one of your disappointments.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple conversations with people whom I know will be watching this video. And like, I don't want to be that person because the last time I kind of complained a bit as well, except for Brightburn, I felt like I was a little bit let down by a few things, but we watched Gretel and Hansel
oh yeah.
Why did they reverse the title, like the names?
Because it is about Gretel more than Hansel, and I think they might have wanted to make that known. And so my other thing with like giving reviews is I don't want to give any spoilers, and so I'm just gonna say that I thought about it for a while. It's not scary. It's not scary. Okay. And when we, the previews really make it seem like this like doomy, really dark.
Yeah.
what do you call that? Like fingers down your spine, kind of like,
chilling.
Like waiting for this moment of like that, like in The Witch, where it's like, like when she kills her own dad, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like that feeling of like in your tummy where you're like, there it is. Like there's that moment of like, this is a fucked up movie, Mm-hmm. That never happened in this movie. And the one spoiler I am going to say is there are no on-screen deaths. Not that makes a scary movie, but I wanted to see a kid get killed and eaten.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because that's like the whole part of that fairy tale about that, folklore. It's all about the fucking witch eating kids and putting them in the oven, right? Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not going to get too much further into it because I could talk about this forever. I'm just going to say it's not a scary movie. It is not an adult horror movie. I talked with our friend Benny Graves. Some of our followers might also be Instagram friends with him as well. And, he had said it's a great movie as an introduction to horror for adolescents.
Okay, so it's a preteen horror then.
That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm complaining. Yes, it's great if you're such and such age and looking for such and such sort of film. Yeah. I was not looking for that movie. So I was like, wah, wah.
Well, that sucks.
It turned into, and there's that, I feel like these movies are being made, and I come back to Midsummer and I know there were others where these directors are like, it'd be fucked up if we filmed a mushroom trip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is a common thing lately.
Yeah.
And so there's a mushroom trip in this movie and it's like, yes, it works because they're in the woods. I get it. But like, I'm so sick of seeing kids on mushrooms in movies.
You just basically described a color out of space, in my opinion. And I'm with you, Megan, like when it comes to like people who are, so excited and hyping like this like new movie. And I will give anything the benefit of the doubt. And I love Richard Stanley. Like I think Hardware is a masterpiece. And obviously I love Nick Cage. But after I watched Color Out of Space, that's exactly what it was. It was basically like super psychedelic looking in some scenes. But my problem with this like new era of like avant-garde kind of movies, like Midsummer and like The Lighthouse and all this stuff, like they could be praised for their artistic skills. But if I'm watching a movie where the characters are not having like real human reactions,
right,
I can't relate to the characters and it makes me angry. Right. And that's how I felt when I watched Midsummer, because I'm like, in my opinion, it's just if I was in that situation, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like freaking out, like having emotional reactions that normal human beings would have in that situation. So like when I see that happening, like in a movie, I just get like frustrated and angry. And that's how I felt in Color Out of Space. Like, it's just like the characters are so like bland, but like purposefully for art, I guess. And it's just like it takes away from a good script. And like, isn't that a Lovecraft story?
Yeah, right.
And it didn't transcend a very good like narrative. And that's how I felt when I watched it. And I was like, I feel like Richard Stanley, like this is like your big comeback after 20 years and this is what you make.
Well, maybe you never know what kind of shit happened though. Like he could have had some wild ideas that like maybe whoever was funding it or producers were like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
That movie.
Well, that sucks. But you didn't like The Lighthouse, huh? Because see, I liked it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
but Megan didn't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
I was expecting more. I was expecting to feel like tension or fear or claustrophobia.
Right?
And I didn't feel any of that. Well, I felt like I was just like really sick of seeing Robert Pattinson jack off all the time. And that's fine as hell. Okay. So like I just by a certain point I'm like, I'm over seeing this like black and white quick lighting shot him beating off.
Yeah. I mean he beats off a couple times. It's like whatever.
It's just, that to me was like where the artist director or like the vision, this like artsy fartsy vision gets out of. It didn't need to be. It was like, it'd be really artsy if we had him fucking whacking off a bunch.
Yeah, you know what I read actually too is like that. Apparently, the like phallic imagery, like they actually cut a bunch of shit out. Like,
so there was more whacking off?
Yeah, well, no, not even so much, but like, so I guess that the lighthouse is a symbol for, a dick, basically. It's a phallic, it's like a phallic energy. It's like
it's like every person who has a lighthouse tattoo, like you've got a dick tattooed on you.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess that's kind of what they're going for, or what he was going for. There's a lot of like homoeroticism in there too.
Have lighthouse tattoos on their arms.
Oh,
it's a fucking dick, man.
Yeah, but yeah, so like they're like, and I don't know, because you saw it, Megan. I don't want to spoilers or whatever, but like at the end, it's kind of like that too, where it's like,
yeah, I have to be in the mood for like something super artsy, and like I love David Lynch, and some movies I watch even of his, I'm just like, I can't sit through this like crying alien baby for 20 minutes, so no thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was manic and a little bit crazy, and Willem Dafoe probably should have won more awards for some of that stuff, like the monologues that he did.
Well,
like,
I was
going to
say
crazy in it.
I'm not trying to take anything away from the performances, because the performances from both of them, I think from both of them are just like, they played off each other really, really well. Again, it just like at the end of it, I was like, oh,
yeah, yeah. It does kind of leave you with like well, what is that? But at the same time, though, it's also kind of like how The Witch, like there was not like a huge crescendo in that movie. At the end, it was kind of like, whoa, like, oh, okay, so that's all it was, and then that's it.
I think the difference is at the end of The Witch, there's that, at this point, spoilers be fucked, because The Witch has been out for years. So, but at the end, there's all those beautiful naked women floating up in guy, and I thought that to me was like, oh, like that's her destiny. That's it, you know what I mean? Whereas
and they're real, and it's real. It wasn't just like a figment of her imagination or anything like that. Yeah,
right. And maybe I just am one of those people who I don't need a bow tie ending. That's not my point. I don't need everything explained to me, because I'm not that. It doesn't need to be a formula for me to enjoy it.
You just need.
I don't know. I think the lighting and stuff like that, some people who are art students or art forward really appreciate that.
Yeah, the technical aspect
of movies. I don't make them, so I'm like confused by it and kind of upset.
Yeah.
Upset.
Yeah. Well, I guess at the end, though, it does kind of, in a way, like The Witch, kind of, it's sort of like it was real in the end kind of thing. So it is kind of that same formula with like, obviously a different plot or whatever, but it is like a similar, like, because throughout the movie, again, it's like, oh, are they crazy? What's really happening? This guy's beaten off to the lighthouse and whatever, why is it so enticing and have all this weird sexual energy? And then it's kind of like, oh, well, it was real.
And I'll tell the general public that. Don't get your hopes up for a fucking kraken.
That's funny. You know what I just realized about this conversation? These two directors, the guy who did The Witch and Lighthouse, and the guy who did Hereditary and Midsummer, I feel like they gained such respect from their first projects, like from their first movies, that the pressure was on. And I think they just didn't deliver for their second movies. Like, because when you look at both of those directors, the first movies were better and the second ones are disappointing. So it's just like maybe they were just really stressed out and they had to like live up to the hype or something.
It is kind of hard to do. Yeah. Like, I mean, same sort of idea is in music as well. They call it the sophomore slump because technically an artist or, a director or writer has for their first movie, their entire life to think about it, to formulate the ideas. And then after that, they've got a year or two and the pressure's on. And it's like a lot of times the ideas for first movies and even like albums and stuff like that, like have been gone over and over and over for years, if not decades sometimes. Right. So it is a more difficult thing to sort of jump into because the expectation is there. Yeah. But you have like a lot less time. You might have more resources, but that doesn't mean that, the idea, like you hear about lots of directors and people like that they wrote this movie when they were, 15 and they've been thinking about it for, the next 20 years kind of thing. Yeah. Until they finally got it made and it was amazing or whatever.
There's probably more fingers in the pot too at that point too.
Yeah, because people make money and then there's more at stake, right? Yeah.
Right. And then that leaves you with less control too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
does it look like I'm not wearing any pants right now?
Yeah, kind of.
You're so ghostly and spooky.
I'm just hanging out in the graveyard.
Spooky stuff, man. Well, what have you been watching, Morgan?
Oh my god, I actually been watching a lot of stuff. I've been trying to like rip through movies I haven't seen, or just like movies I've heard a lot about for like a while. I have. Let's see. What should I talk about? Well, I'll list a few off, and you guys can tell me what you think. So The Believers with Martin Sheen, I watched like a while ago, but it had a tie-in with a book that I was reading about some Mexican cult killings. So apparently the people in this cult that like were like a kind of a really, really extreme version of Santeria, Palo Mayombe or whatever, like they literally were like kidnapping people and like hacking their brains out and putting them in this cauldron and like worshiping it for like to help cartels and stuff. And apparently they made people who were new recruits watch this movie, The Believers, which is about like voodoo and Santeria and shit like that. So that's one movie I watched. Let's see what else. I watched The Slayer.
About how they made the cult members like the cult leaders made the members like watch
that movie. Yeah.
That's what Joe Bob was talking about. Fuck, what movie was it that he showed last week? Like Jeffrey Dahmer, apparently it was like his favorite movie.
Really?
The Exorcist 3.
Oh, well that's fun.
The Exorcist 3.
Oh.
So Jeffrey Dahmer was so obsessed with that movie that he made all of his like victims watch it before.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so that's
very interesting. Yeah,
that's
it is. It's very interesting.
He had a lot of passion for that movie then.
Yeah.
Like the only one.
You're about to take someone's life, and the one thing you want to make sure that they experience before they go is that movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked.
And I'd actually never seen that entire movie until that night. And then it just honestly reinforces like his insanity, because that movie makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Continue.
But he loved it. I watched The Slayer, which I thought was actually really well done. It's like I was expecting more of a little bit of like a cheesy kind of movie, but it was actually very
I know.
It's in that same like Amityville horror type, like late 70s kind of feel to it.
It's so spooky. I love that movie so much, and it gets so much hate.
Really? Just because the monster is not in it a lot or something?
Yeah, because like everybody knows it from that spooky like monster face, and it gets a lot of hate because you only see the monster for like 30 seconds at the very end of the movie. But like just scratch that part out of your brain and just appreciate the whole movie like for
and you know what? I 100% did. I thought there was a lot of like, because it is a horror movie. There's blood and there's gore, but I think it's really tastefully done, and it had like a really eerie vibe to it, and I really liked it. Actually, Megan, you would really like it. It's not really a creature feature. I would say it's more a
psychological.
Psychological, but also like it's almost like a poltergeist-ish type movie. It's more like, she's like an artist, and she's been having these dreams about these places, and her husband and another couple go to this like I guess East Coast island for some vacation time, where there's literally like one cottage on this entire island, and then she starts seeing the things that she's dreamt about.
Oh, okay.
And so she's kind of like, well, I'm supposed to be here. And so it's like there's it's kind of like haunting in a way. There's a lot of and like, so it's not really like a slasher or anything like that. There is some like gore and stuff in it, and there is some creature-ish type things going on as well, but I would say it's more of like a haunting, spooky, like psychological, but also like psychic-ish kind of vibe to it. Yeah, and it's really well done. So I say that one was really good too.
I love that movie.
Fuck yeah! I got so many. I got lists.
Multiple.
Time Walker. Has anybody seen that shit with an alien mummy?
Yeah,
that movie was fucking great.
I don't really remember.
That shit was awesome.
A couple of years ago, but
I loved it.
It was like a mummy.
The mummy!
The mummy!
Did it walk like this through space?
No. It was like
it
was an alien that got embalmed in ancient Egypt, and then they like it's in Tut's tomb apparently. Oh, they just missed it, 100 years ago.
Oh, so it's an alien mummy on Earth, not an mummy on a spaceship.
No.
Okay, I was picturing like totally like Monster Squad in space.
Yeah. That would be fucking awesome.
Fucking cool.
Fuck yeah. I watched Drive-In Massacre, which was fun. And it's like about somebody with a fucking sword killing people at a drive-in. Like, it's like they stick their head out the window to like tune in and their head gets chopped off. It's fucking hilarious. And George Buck Flowers is in it, and he's got a sword too.
Does he play a bum?
No, he plays a crazy person. He was part of the cast, and I think he produced and had something to do with the writing of the movie too. Like, so he was part of it. And I think it's 75, so he's pretty young.
There should be a documentary about George Buck Flowers.
I know, right? Like kind of how Dick Miller or whatever.
Did he pass away recently?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did. George Buck Flowers.
And one more movie I want to mention because I know you guys will have lots to say about it, but this was the first time I watched it. But last night I watched The Wishmaster 2.
Okay.
Your wishes.
What other movie could you think of where a person fucks themselves?
That was incredible.
That was amazing. Yes, Mina, I remember you telling me, you're like, yeah, I really like the part where that guy fucks himself. And I was like, okay, waiting for that part. But like, I'm surprised. I thought when that guy, like he wanted to go right through the bars. And so he like kind of his body just like smushes through the jail bars. It was so good. All his guts pop out of his skin and like pour onto the ground.
Yeah.
I know.
Like every bone crushing as he's like smushing through. Oh my God.
I love the Wishmaster movies. Like one day we have to do one or both of them like for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, that first movie, I remember the first time I watched it, and the first 10 minutes is mind-blowing, just amazing, straight-up horror. Mm-hmm. Gore, deaths, like skeletons, like emerging from their fucking and
how he does that. Yeah, and there's a similar scene in the second one too. Yeah.
Like fucking Kane Hodder and like Ted Raimi. And the second one, like the story isn't as good as the first one.
Yeah.
And the girl, like the main girl in the second one kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
But the jail, like the two kills in the jail are so redeeming. Like they make that movie. Like that guy, what's his name? Andrew Divoff or whatever.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be at a con that we did last year, Frightmare in the Falls, and he canceled, and I was so bummed out. I was like, fuck!
He's very creepy. Like, the way that he delivers his line and just goes like...
he's good.
I guarantee
sits there and freezes.
You know when you watch something and you can tell if somebody has, like, a theater background? Like, Jeff Jones? Like, I guarantee that guy fucking did theater. Like,
he looks like... I feel like he's so creepy because he looks like he has too many teeth in his mouth.
Yeah, he's got like a really wide smile.
Oh my God, fucking The Cell. Do you guys remember Vincent D'Onofrio in The Cell?
Mm-hmm.
And he had all those little tiny teeth.
Yes, it's like little stud teeth. Yeah,
little dolphin teeth.
Yeah. So Dave, so I bought like the set of 4 of Wishmaster or whatever, and we were warned that like after 2 they get really bad, and we're like, fuck it, like we're in the moment, we're feeling this like movie fucking experience. We put it on. We literally made it like, I don't know, the credits, and it just had that vibe, that like 90s, like late 90s vibe, where we just didn't make it past the credits. It just went.
For the third one?
There was more than 2.
Huh?
There's 4 of them, isn't there?
What? I totally forgot. And you know what? No, I don't. Sorry. I thought I had the third one, but I don't. I totally forgot that there was more than 2.
There's 4.
Okay, you'll have to lend me that box.
You know what? He's not in the last 2.
Oh.
They passed him. And so it's like, why am I going to sit through 2 hours of like a character who I don't fucking relate to anymore? Some new.
That's like
it gets bad when they do that.
That's like Warlock 3, like the one that doesn't have Julian Sands in it. But it's so bad that you have to watch it because Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser is in it. And all I remember is just like a bunch of 90s scenes in this abandoned place on a campus.
Is that person related to Joey Lawrence?
No.
Whoa.
Maybe?
I gotta look it up.
Man, there's fucking Lawrences and Baldwins out there.
I know.
Everybody. Who knows?
Crazy. Just wild. But yeah, you know what? I really like the second Wishmaster. I'll watch the third one and the fourth one, but I just don't know if... I know that I'm probably not going to like them.
Yeah, probably. Well, I recently watched, for the first time in its entirety, like from beginning to end, The Dead Pit. And
that's a cool poster.
What's that, Megan?
That's a cool poster.
Yes. So like
the cover's rad.
The really rare one is the one where the eyes light up. That would be amazing to own that. But I had only seen like, I think we watched it in high school, Morgan. But
yeah, actually, you know what? And like side note, I had a copy and I gave it away.
Yeah, and
mine was the light up eyes one.
Definitely,
too.
like when our parents lived on the same street in high school. Like I know we watched it one night. Like I know we did, but I don't remember like anything about it because we were fucking like 17 and probably high and drunk. And I tried to watch it like one night at a friend's house, but we weren't paying attention. And all I remember was like it takes place in a mental institution, and I was like, "Where are the zombies?" Because I felt like it was marketed as a zombie movie, but it's totally not. And I finally watched it and I really, really enjoyed that story. It's like one of those like movies where there's two side stories and you're like waiting for the realization of when they make sense together. And that, as well as the actual pit, when the fog is like coming out of the hole and then like all those like undead like old patients like are crawling out of it and it's just like cool fucking blue and green lighting.
Oh, nice.
It has such a great ambiance and like I fell in love with it. And I actually had no idea that the whole plot revolved around like that doctor that was experimenting on dead bodies, and then the other doctor like shoots him like in the head at the beginning of the movie, and then it cuts to like 10 years later, and then there's like this woman who's in a mental institution and she lost her memory and claims that a crazy doctor stole her memories. And then so you're just like wondering like, well, what does this have to do with the other guy? And then when it comes together, you're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. So it's not like a gory zombie movie. It's more of like a really good zombie story.
Sweet.
I really enjoyed it. Like I can't believe it took me like 20 years
to
realize that I like this movie.
Yeah. It's a good one though. That copy that I actually had was probably the one that we rented because it was from Ambassador Video.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I do have a thumbs up.
Oh,
I can't remember
one or two.
Have to remind me if I talked about this. I have no fucking long-term memory anymore. Did I ever talk to you guys about Mayhem when I watched Mayhem?
I don't
know what's that.
No.
So Mayhem is the Joe Lynch.
Oh, like Adam Green's Joe Lynch?
Yes, Joe Lynch, yeah.
Okay.
So he made that movie and it won a ton of awards. I'm sure when you see the cover, so the guy who stars in it is one of the stars from the show Heroes.
Okay.
I believe. And it's either Heroes or Lost. No, it's Heroes. Mm-hmm. And so there's like a virus that gets that's in society, but they're trying to contain it. And so it's
familiar.
Like, right?
I've never heard of this.
Was this yes, you have.
2017?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got what's his name? Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, that's the show he's from. He was in Heroes, I thought. Maybe not. But it's also got that rad chick from Ready or Not, and the babysitter, she's like in everything right now.
I still haven't seen Ready or Not.
Yeah. Anyways, Mayhem is disgusting. It's so gory, and it gives you that like punch of satisfaction that you need because it's like some guy getting back at like his boss's boss's boss who's like micromanaging him and like treating the little guys in their cubicles like shit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it also plays out like a video game because in order to because they have an excuse to be as violent as they want because that's what the virus does to you, so it's not your fault, right?
Right.
So he knows he's been infected. So he's like, I only have X amount of time to get to my boss to kill my boss before the virus wears off. And then I don't have that excuse anymore.
Oh, so, then it's murder. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's him going from floor to floor of this like giant corporate building, right? But the floors play like Nintendo levels.
Oh,
that's
neat. It reminds me of The Raid.
Cool.
Do you guys remember that? Like, I think it was... I'm not sure if it was Chinese or from Taiwan. I can't remember. But
what movie?
The Raid. And it's basically what the new Dredd kind of like ripped off, the Judge Dredd movie. Like, so they're in this like building and like every level of the building, they have to like fight the opponents and then like the level. Oh, that's cool. I love Joel Lynch. Like Joel Lynch and Adam Green, those two, they've got like chemistry that like resonates such pure joy. Like when you're watching Holliston, like it's just like, oh, they're just so endearing.
I know.
It's adorable.
Cool. I've got to check that shit out. It sounds fucking awesome.
Mayhem. Roadhouse.
Fuck yeah.
So anyways, that was my going, because I think you were talking about zombies and it reminded me of Train to Busan.
Yeah. I still haven't seen that.
Which was amazing. And then I thought, you know what, I've already talked about that one. But that, because speaking of zombie movies, that it's super, super long, but it's like, Morgan, have you seen it?
No, but you know what? I remember, because it came out like 2-3 years ago?
Years ago, yeah.
I remember the hype and was like, I need to watch it. And it's on like all kinds of platforms. And every time I go buy it, I'm like, fuck, I need to watch that movie. But it is long, so I'm like, I need to like invest the time.
Yeah, pick your moment. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's like one of those zombie movies where after it, you're like, oh, my heart, you know?
Yeah.
I have a zombie movie to talk about in a roundabout way without talking about it. Okay, so seriously, I texted you guys like in the group chat like after I watched this movie on Joe Bob. And a couple weeks before that, my brother told me to watch this movie, One Cut of the Dead. And he was like, don't research anything about it. Just watch it and stick with it. And I was just like, okay. And he was like,
ominous.
Seriously, this movie will blow your mind. Just don't research anything about it. It's one of those things that you just definitely don't want spoilers. And I was like, okay. And then one night I was watching Joe Bob and it was the second movie on. And usually I can't stay awake for the second movie because here in Ontario, Joe Bob starts at 9 and I'm usually like the first movie and
past our bedtime.
It is, yeah. The first movie plays and then I usually stay up to see what the second movie is and then I go to bed. But then when he said that they were showing One Cut of the Dead, I was like, oh, this is the movie that my brother told me to watch. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to stay awake. And then after my like cognitive brain was like stimulated that I was like awake during the whole thing and I couldn't believe how good this movie is. And the reason why I can't really tell you guys anything about it is like because of the fact that it's so good that if you spoil it, it will ruin the whole fucking thing. So I can't really say anything about it. However, I will say this, that whatever the plot on IMDb tells you is a very small fraction of what the movie is really about. Mm-hmm. So
I looked it up. I was like,
yeah. So like anyone can just read the plot on IMDb. And so I'm not spoiling anything by saying this, but it's like a zombie movie where there's like this director who's filming a zombie movie, and in reality, real zombies attack them. So that's what IMDb tells you, but I'm telling you guys, like, that's not really what the movie is about, and you're gonna feel awkward and confused at the beginning, but trust me, fucking stick with it. because like the wraparound that happens at the end of the movie will blow your mind.
Awesome. I'm very intrigued.
It's so it's Japanese, and it came out a couple years ago, and it screened once at Cannes, and it got like a standing ovation, and
really?
then
Wow.
started circulating, and then other film festivals started getting it and showing it. And what's happening now, especially since like it was on Joe Bob, more and more people are watching it, that it's gained so much attention in North America that they're already like green lighting like a Hollywood version.
Well, like, see, that bums me out a bit
because people don't read titles, but just like like, oh my God, you guys, like seriously, you need to watch this movie, because what makes it so amazing and brilliant is the writing. Like the writing is genius. I guarantee you it will be like a movie that you have never seen in your life.
Awesome. Well, that is an endorsement.
Seriously.
Where did you find it to watch it though?
Well, I watched it on Shudder on Joe Bob. So after I'm pretty sure like the episodes stay on Shudder.
Yeah, they will after. So if you have Shudder, I think you could probably watch it. He'll be intercut. Like,
I was saying, if you don't want to watch it on a platform with someone, you know,
cutting
doing
it. But you know what though? Usually his cuts are like really, really long. But for this movie, he literally cuts in and he talks for like 2 minutes and then he's gone, because it's such a good movie that you have to pay attention. But like, it's so good that Megan, like, I want to watch it with you because I want to see your reactions.
I'm fucking intrigued as shit.
I know. I'm very, very intrigued. And I guess, watch it now, because don't wait for the Hollywood fucking shine over.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. It's so good. Like, I was talking to my cat, like, at the end of the movie. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, that's why. And I was like, oh my God.
I can't remember the last time.
Megan, like, I have to watch you watch that movie.
I'm excited. I can't remember the last time a movie made me feel that way. Like, I'm trying to think of a movie other than like The Sixth Sense that I watched when I was, I don't know, 9, that gave me that like vibe of like,
Martyrs. The end of Martyrs kind of gave me that.
Oh, you guys just wait.
I felt like that when that guy was passing through the fucking jail cell last night when I was watching Wishmaster 2.
Oh yeah.
When he was getting smushed through, I was like, I actually was like, what?
Yeah, it's so.
I'm like by myself, like saying like holy shit. That was fucking cool.
That's what this movie does to you.
Mm-hmm. The second Wishmaster, I just love the one-liners. Like, he's in a jail, you know what I mean, with like a bunch of these like fucking tough guys, and he just like spits off these one-liners, and they're so funny.
Like,
and he says it like completely deadpan, like, but like that creepy little like.
But he's got like a creepy smile, like he's just like.
Like in a jail with a bunch of like fucking ruffians,
right?
I know, right?
Oh man, and he just wants them to get them to make a fucking wish. And that casino scene too actually had some good moments as well.
Oh, where like exploded,
like people's like guts like popping out, and like the cards like exploding out of somebody's stomach and like chopping people's heads and stuff. It was cool.
I think that's why there's so much appeal to like the idea for filmmakers to do like a Leprechaun or a Wishmaster or, you know, like Warlock, right? Yeah. Like these, like, you can literally come up with the most wild and kooky ways that people's guts are going to come flying out of their mouth, or like their eyes are going to pop out. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's a wishing thing. So we can just like, whatever, we can do whatever we want, you know?
The logic,
exactly.
Their wishes.
Yeah. Like, oh, you want some chicks like her fucking tits and the Leprechaun? Like, remember that scene?
Yeah.
And they just explode and like her lips explode. Like,
that just makes me think of Faust. The only scene that I remember from Faust is when the woman is like orgasming to death. Fucking Brian Usna, man.
Oh my God. What a precious man.
I know.
Fucking precious. I love it. Oh man.
Oh, I know.
Is there anything else that you guys want to get off your chest other than we're still stuck at home in this pandemic?
Yeah. You know what?
We miss each other.
I do.
You go, girl.
I'm gonna something I want to kind of have a conversation about. What is going on with movies that were supposed to have big box office premieres? Do any of us know what the process has been for that? For COVID? I know there were some movies that were supposed to come out that, you rely on that box office release.
I think I got an email from Cineplex that said something about like whatever summer movies that are supposed to be released this year, you'll have the option to like watch them from home. So I'm assuming you could, for that ticker price, like just like stream it from your home.
Well, that seems kind of weird though.
That's what we've been doing.
But like to like
are going right to TV. I know.
Yeah, but like think about like, okay, the first one that comes to mind when you're talking about like summer blockbuster was fucking Top Gun. Wasn't that supposed to come out this fucking year?
Right?
In like July, and they were gonna make it all America and like the 4th of July fucking weekend, Top Gun, fucking Mavericks back and shit. But like, I don't think Tom Cruise is gonna go for that. He's gonna want theaters. He's gonna want money. He's gonna want, like there's a lot riding on that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually prefer like watching from home because I hate movie theaters and like I just hate people. I have to fucking tell somebody to shut up every time I go to the fucking movies. But Top Gun, that is a movie that I would want to watch in theaters.
I know, and it's going to be really disappointing. But it may end up that like it wouldn't probably work out well for like the timing that they were sort of going for. But like if they may end up having to push it back as well. Just because they want that fucking experience, you want to see that shit in the theaters because it's gonna be a big movie.
Speaking of Dahmer, he just released a book.
Val Kilmer did.
Yes.
Oh,
that would be amazing to read.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna get that book.
He's a cool guy. I like him.
So hot in Willow. Holy fuck.
Oh, his long hair with the banana.
Long black hair. Oh my god.
Yep, riding a horse the whole fucking time.
Smashing his balls on a horse the whole time.
I love that. I love when they're big and blue and bruised. You've been riding a horse. Your balls smell like.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to change the subject.
Speaking of balls that stink.
Speaking of balls, old man balls. Speaking of biographies, I just wanted to tell a really fun story. So I love Bruce Lee and I'm reading Bruce Lee's biography, and the way that it was written, you can tell that this person put so much fucking work into this book because it's so detailed. It's like as if this person was there throughout Bruce's life. And he told this story that I was like, have you ever had like a situation when you're reading a book and it actually makes you like drop your jaw?
I'm sure at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like I was like, holy shit! Bruce Lee was a little shit when he was a kid and when he was a teenager. He used to like bully people and like tease people all the time and like pick fights in the street and stuff like that. Like before he trained with Yip Man, he was like not philosophical like at all. Like he was totally like a street ruffian. He like started his own gang and everything. And one day he was at school and a teacher fucking teased him and I think pushed him into a locker or something like that. And he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna get back at him. So he used to like prank people all the time, and this is what he did. He filled a bucket full of shit and piss and waited in a bathroom stall and waited for this guy to go take a shit like in
he carried him.
And Bruce Lee was in the stall right next to him, and he fucking pushed the bucket like under the stall into the guy's stall, and he climbed and he like looked over the stall and he was like, mess with me again and this is what happens. And he fucking lit a firecracker and threw it into the bucket, and the bucket exploded and the guy had like shit explode all over him.
That is so much cooler than anything I could think of ever.
No, I thought maybe it was just going to be a tipped over bucket, but then it exploded.
Yeah, like, can you imagine, like, getting, like, fucking like shit exploded on you?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, Bruce Lee, like, what the fuck?
That's
so vindictive.
Fucked up. Holy shit. By the way, you mentioned Ip Man, fucking, those Ip Man movies that have come out, I think there's a fourth one, they're fucking phenomenal.
Oh, fuck.
All of them. I haven't seen the last one that came out yet, because I think it's fairly new, but
I think I just have the first one, but yeah, like, I love Kung Fu. I love martial arts movies, and I found a really good deal on Bruce Lee's biography on this like cheap website, and it was like $7, and it's so big. And I'm only at the point where he just married Linda and she's pregnant with Brandon Lee, and it's a very compelling story so far.
Hold on, I'm getting drugs. I have a question though. Hold on. Wait.
That much into it. But you're reading Corey Feldman's book.
I am, yeah. I'm reading Corey Feldman's book right now. And today I read like a fucking probably like close to 100 pages. And it's actually
very compelling story.
Yeah, it's very easy to read, and he's very likable in it. Like he's very humble. Like he realizes that he was a little asshole when he was a kid, you know.
I feel so bad for him though. Mm-hmm. Like seriously, after I read that book, like he can be as weird as he wants now. I don't care. Like I loved Corey Feldman when I was a kid. And then recently he's obviously been like off the rails, and I'm like, whatever, I still like him because I had a crush on him when I was a kid. But then after I read that book, oh my God, after I read that book, I was like, seriously, I feel so bad for him. Like he deserves like everything that he like should get in life. Like honestly.
Yeah, he had a really, really terrible upbringing. His fucking mom was a fucking piece of shit. And
I feel like there's so few child actors who weren't just completely exploited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he's just part of like, you know, a list, like a really long list of child actors who were treated the same. You think someone would be treated different than him? Like, I just think that anyone who's stand up for themselves, what makes it even parents are money hungry.
Yeah, especially if the parents are like that. Yeah, then
what's even more sad is like it's not only the film industry; it's his own fucking like blood.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like the way that he was treated from his mother, I was like, I related to it, and I was just like, oh my God, it was honestly like watching Surviving R. Kelly. Like I felt so bad for those women, and like when that's how I felt when I read Corey Feldman's book. And one day I will meet him, and I'll be like, I don't care if your music sucks, I still love you. However, Ascension Millennium is a good song. I don't care what anybody says.
It's
dance too.
I'm just getting into it now, and it's going to be a really compelling read. And he's also part of the reason why actors and musicians and stuff like that, there's laws about trust funds and whatnot. And it's fascinating to me because when I was young, I had to do that. And it was indirectly because of Corey Feldman. When we signed our contract with Kitty, by law, all the courts, all the different states, the state of New York where we were signed, we had to go and stand in front of a judge and have the parents like sign off and commit to putting any money that was made into trust funds until we were 18 kind of thing. And
he also changed the statute of limitations in California for reporting a rape, because up until a couple years ago, if your rape happened more than like, let's just say 8 months ago, that it's disqualified. So because Corey Feldman, that law is actually changed. And if you were raped 10, 20, 30 years ago, it doesn't matter. You can still report it.
Well, yeah, as it should be. And I find that fascinating as well because I actually read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is the Golden State Killer book. And before he was murdering people, he was just a serial rapist. And he raped like 60, 70 like women. It was a horrible, horrible thing. And up until a certain point, they weren't allowed to to go after him. Obviously, like they didn't catch him until like last year or whatever. But like now,
Patton Oswalt's wife.
Yeah. And that was a really incredible book. It's unfortunate that she passed before she actually finished it because there's a point in the book where you can tell that it's like her assistant and a few other people that were very close with her were the ones that finished it. But like up until when she finished, like it was incredible stuff.
That's
like,
cool. I'll have to read that.
Yeah, it's a really good book.
I know I finished also Paul Stanley's book in like 3 days, and I'm biased because he's my favorite member of KISS, but I'll have to say that he makes Peter, Chris, and Ace Frehley and pretty much everybody else in the band like idiots.
Yeah,
I feel like his book would just be like a what do you call it? Like just like a journal of partying. That's what I feel like.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm shocked that he remembers a lot of it.
You know what? It totally isn't though. I say that he rips on like the other guys, but our like me and Morgan like I have history in like being in a band and like dealing with like disgruntled members and situations are like it hit home for me. But also that book was really good because he just is seriously such a super inspirational, motivational kind of guy. He's very zen and believes that, like, you know, live life to its fullest because life is super short. And
so let that chapter fucking grease up and fuck as many bitches as you can.
Fucking Paul Stanley, he's a very kind spirit. And one thing that I loved about Paul Stanley's book is his wife, his second wife, like the woman that he's married to now, loves candy so much, and she demanded that their wedding have a candy bar. And I was like, oh my God, that so much.
That's fucking cute.
God, that's adorable.
I know.
But like, here's the most important thing. Did he talk about the Folgers commercial?
No, he didn't. What the fuck? I was looking forward to the Folgers commercial, and he didn't talk about it.
He's like, that's one thing of all the fucked up things he's probably done in his life. That's one thing he's actually embarrassed about. That's
one day out of his tell-all, so.
Right?
I'm gonna meet Paul Stanley, and I'm gonna ask him about that commercial. I'm gonna be like, I want to know everything. He talked about Phantom of the Opera for a really long time, but there's one part where he talks about like how Gene went off to start acting in movies, and he was like, kind of, I feel betrayed because like the band is number one, blah blah blah, and then Gene's going off to do these movies, and he went to go to one of his premieres, and he said, he didn't say what movie it was, but he said that it was very embarrassing, and I
bet you it's Never Too Young to Die.
It was no. You know what? I have a feeling it was Runaway.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, because I thought he was good in Runaway, but Never Too Young to Die, that's the movie that he was dressed up like fucking Cher.
Like, he's dressed up like fucking, what's her name?
Why would Paul Stanley be for him for looking like Cher? Paul Stanley
looks exactly. I know, right? That's so fucking funny. Holy shit.
That's awesome.
So fucking true.
It probably was Never Too Young to Die, so I was like, well, maybe it's Runaway, because that movie, like, but Never Too Young to Die, I've only seen it once, to be honest.
But he's dressed ridiculously in it.
I'm sure he makes money.
That outfit
for sure.
Gene wears in Never Too Young to Die is the same outfit that Linda Carter, like Wonder Woman, wore. And it was funny because it popped up on my Pinterest because I look at weird shit all the time. Like just the picture of Linda Carter wearing it. And I was like, what the drag outfit that Gene sent me Never Too Die?
That's fucking amazing. They probably like got it at like, there's like on, you know, in Hollywood, like back in the day in the Strip, there's like all the like, you know, stripper like
showgirl.
Yeah, all cheap, like one piece, like kind of stuff. I bet you like a few people went and shopped is off the rack. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
That's fucking funny. You know, so I was actually thinking about Vegas, just like a midpoint. Like, fuck, I wonder what Vegas looks like during COVID. I think that would be
bombed up.
Yeah,
an interesting sight. But also, so speaking of like Hollywood and shit, I put on my Instagram that I got like imprints on my fucking butt of the chair that I'm sitting on. So anyway, So we watched this show called Hollywood, and it has the actor who plays Sheldon in it, who is an incredible fucking actor. And the show is 6 episodes long, and it is a very uplifting story about two actors, a writer and a director, and an actress. Like they're kind of like their way into Hollywood, but it's more how long like sexual favors for roles and stuff like that has been going on in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, okay.
But the way that they made it was such a brilliant way, because you're watching the show about, you know, people forced to do, you know, oral sex on directors or managers more so, right? Or agents, sorry. Right? And stuff like that. And it's like, but the way that they do it is you don't feel awful after it. You don't feel uncomfortable or like, oh, like, I wish I, you know, never watched that before bed or whatever. Like they do it in such a way where it's like, after they suck dick, they're like, I'm in Hollywood now. Like, woo! Like, let them come off their face like Hollywood, woo! It's amazing. It's just like,
I did see that pop up on Netflix.
oh, you gotta give it a shot. It's such a fun show. It's
what's it called? Just Hollywood?
Hollywood. Okay. That's it. They're like the acting
about like the golden era of cinema, but
it's all about oral sex. The whole show is about
fucking dick.
Crazy. Hollywood.
Incredible. There's racism in it. There's sexism in it. There's all sorts of exploitation and everything in
all
it.
The fucked up things about Hollywood.
Yeah, but it's done in a way where it's filmed on like this set that is oh so 40s. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So like the big sunshine and the musicals and the crisp white outfits and uniforms, and it makes you feel like just really like cotton candy and rainbows and sunshines and blowjobs and
I like it.
Well, that's what life is all about, isn't
Fuck
it?
Yeah. Cotton candy and blowjobs. Yeah. Wow. What do you think, guys? Should we wrap it up? Yeah. It's been a action-packed hour. It's crazy. I do love this though, because I feel like, well, I get to see you guys. It's nice to like chat and whatever, but like, I kind of like the unscripted kind of nature of like just having like a chat about, hey, what'd you watch? And then see where our conversations go. Like a lot of times when we do the podcast, I mean, it's still unscripted. We don't fucking write down the crazy shit that we say, but it does kind of have a, let's talk about this person. Let's talk about this person. And I like this.
We are like normal conversations when we're hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking awesome.
So y'all are getting
we're at home, so we have no pants on.
Our dating.
Yeah, exactly. Does it look like I'm not wearing any pants?
Fuck it. Pants.
Right? Who fucking needs pants?
Gymnastics.
Fuck yeah. Quarantine pants.
Awesome. Well, I guess thanks for everybody for listening. Rock and or roll.
Woohoo. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers. Yeah. We'll try to do this as much as possible while everybody's still locked up. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Wash your fucking hands. You dirty bitches.
Wear sunscreen.
Yeah, that too. I started having to do that. I had a really bad burn.
Yeah, for pasty goths.
Yeah, I have goth block.
Yeah, so do I. Goth block. I forgot about that term. All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.